In this video, I want to cover how to use AI tools to instantly turn a draft of a scientific figure, something like this, into a much more professional looking version, something like this. We'll also cover later in the video how to transform some text that you might have lying around in a document into a scientific diagram that is visually appealing for use in presentations or reports. Now, before we begin, I need to say two things. The first one is that AI can hallucinate scientific content, and so you really have to look at the output, and then often you might have to either replot things or make final adjustments to the figure yourself. The second thing is to always know what is the policy on AI-generated figures for whatever you're using this for, and to make sure to follow it so you don't get into any kind of academic trouble. All right, so with that out of the way, let's get started. And there are many different AI tools that you can use to generate figures. I've had the best luck with Gemini Pro so far, so I'm going to load up that one. That's towards the end of the video. I'll also cover reasons why you might want to use Claude instead. So here I've loaded up Gemini, and the main thing that you want to make sure of is that you're on the Pro model, because Gemini often likes to bump you down to fast to save its own compute time. So just make sure every single time you run this that you're on Pro. And I usually also click Create Image, although it's not strictly necessary most of the time. So the first thing I'll need, of course, is an image to clean up. And I'm going to load an image that I often use in presentations that is not really all that optimized. So here's what the image looks like. It's to show that the number of compounds that are reported in machine learning databases are much higher than the ones that are in experimental databases. So that's the point of the figure. But clearly it's not very, visually attractive. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I will load the image into Gemini, and then I'm going to give it a very particular prompt. Now you can try just a very simple prompt like, attach as a draft to transform into a professional scientific figure. But overall, I have much better results if I give it a lot more instructions. So for example, if I tell it that it's a graphic designer, that it should use, the type of style that's used in nature and science, and I give it lots of very particular guidelines as well, things like a flat design style, a consistent color scheme, etc., etc. So I'm going to link this prompt in the description of the video so you can look it over and use it yourself. The one thing that I do think is helpful other than attaching the image itself is some kind of context for the model. So here I put a text description of this draft figure. So I will copy over what this figure is about, and basically what I've written is that in a short period of time, the machine learning can generate millions of compounds compared to the hundreds of thousands. All right, so we're all ready to go. We have our prompt, we have our description, and we have our figure. So let's go ahead and make our figure. All right, so we're finished, and this is what we get. We get a completed figure, and we can see that it's done certain things differently. Certainly it's added a title and it's added a text that you can crop out. But I like that it's done certain things with the figure. So for example, it used different colors for the experimental databases versus the machine learning databases. It just makes it visually a little bit clearer. And then when you look at these axes labels here, as well as the grid lines, they just look a little bit more professional than what we had in the previous draft, where, here the text is probably a little bit too big, these lines are too skinny, and these grid lines just don't look as nice. And the other thing to note is that this process is not always reproducible. So if you run the same query again at a different time, you're probably going to get a different result. So sometimes you can run this multiple times and find something that you like, or you can chat with the outputted result and sometimes be able to clean that up as well. All right, so let's try this procedure again on a different type of figure. We're going to go a little bit more quickly this time. Here is what my figure draft looks like. It is a workflow where we load up some input data, we have a training test split, and then we evaluate the test using the parameters that were fitted on the training set. So you can see that there's a lot of colors here. The flow of this maybe is not optimized yet. So let's take a look and see what Gemini will do. So remember, all I have to do is first of all copy the image into here, make sure that I'm on Pro mode because Gemini always likes to put me into fast mode. Optionally click Create Image, add in my prompt, And then finally, add in a text description of the figure. And this is optional, but it does, again, help. So here my text description is going to read a workflow for testing the automated interpretation framework, and then, basically just a description of this flowchart. All right, so let's see what Gemini does on this one. Okay, so here we have the output from Gemini. And right away, there's a couple of things that I like. This does look a lot more grid-like and rectangular than the original image. And then we see that the colors are a little bit more consistent as well between this image than versus this one. I like some of these graphics here too, where an expert is looking at this, report and giving a check mark or not giving a check mark. And then I like that they have made the evaluators a little bit less prominent here. You can definitely see them, but they're not as large as they were in the original image and not taking up as much space. So a lot of this actually looks pretty good. We have the training set, the expert evaluation, the course grid search, and then the test set. So this, overall actually I'd be pretty happy with this result. All right, so now let's do something a little bit different. So previously we took a draft of an image and we converted it to a more professional looking image. What if we don't have any image draft at all? What if we just have a text that we want to transform into some kind of overview image? So let's say you have like a report and you need to give a PowerPoint presentation and you can't like paste your report, but you do want like a nice graphic for the things that are in your report. All right, so I'm going to load the same exact prompt that I did for the images. And you might notice that I wrote the word draft and I didn't say like a draft image or draft text or something like that. I left it purposely vague. So that way in this text description of draft, I can just put in my text description also. So in this text description, what I'm going to do is just insert the text content of a report that I prepared that summarizes the efforts of 3 or 4 research projects in a research program that I'm part of. So what I'll do is I'm going to paste that long report text here. And this is the big long report text. Ideally, I'd be able to just attach the report to this prompt, but I found that that tends to crash Gemini in the current version for whatever reason. So that's why I'm pasting the text here rather than attaching the report. Hopefully they'll fix that in a future version of Gemini. But anyway, if you just want to take a look at this report real quick, it's basically saying that, there's this core objective called modular material solutions. Here's basically the background problem that are being tried to solve. This is a figure that was included in the report and its caption. And then this just describes certain work that was occurring in this Durmat program to address that challenge. And then we're back to the figure generation instructions. So given this text, I can generate an image, and remember to make sure that you are on Pro and that you hit Create Image for this one. Okay, so we've successfully transformed this report into an overview image, and you can see what it looks like here. It has summarized the background challenges that we're trying to address in this program. These all look quite correct in terms of the background images and, the background problems. And yeah, this all looks correct. And then the actual research that's being done in terms of reframing the failure of glass cracking versus cell cracking, of introducing new glass strengthening mechanisms, of looking at copper metallization, as well as this encapsulant, this new one called EPE and its adhesion. All of these things, as well as silicon-based recycling, all of this is very, very correct. That said, as impressive as this is, you do need to look very closely and be very careful about the results. So when I look at this image, everything looks very good at the high level, but there are a couple of things that stand out to me as things that I would correct before showing off to the Durmat program. The first one is that here it says durability and recyclability are addressed together through materials design, and the program didn't really do that. The program address recycling somewhat separately from the materials design aspect. I see also here that in terms of the copper metallization, it's true that they're lower cost, they might introduce additional risks, but it says that it requires specific encapsulants. And the study itself, if the LLM was given the full results of the study, it would have found that specific encapsulants aren't really what we found. We found that, all the encapsulants seem to work pretty well, and we don't really see that much difference between them. So I would be very careful about a statement like that, which seemed to be introduced by the LLM rather than was directly inside the report. So again, be careful because these hallucinations really do happen. It's not just like a theoretical type thing. All right, so now let's talk about what we should do when the AI hallucinates information. And, the most foolproof thing is to just replot the whole thing yourself, create the figure from scratch using the principles from the design figure. And that way you can make sure that everything you add in is correct. That said, if you just want to make light adjustments, you can often use an image editor and just make little changes here and there. So for example, here I've loaded in that image about the Duramat program, and I noticed that there were some problems maybe with this statement as well as with this statement. So what I can do here, I've loaded into an image editing program called Pixelmator, but really the tools here are universal to most image editing programs. So first thing I can do is, let's say I want to delete this requires specific encapsulants thing. So I'm going to use a tool called the eyedropper. It's over here in Pixelmator to copy the color over. Now this color has a little bit of texture to it, but it's basically like 220, 227, 220. You can also use this RGB color if you were going to make the figure from scratch. But anyway, I'm going to click it to select that color. And I'm going to use my paintbrush tool to just basically paint this out. There we go. So now it no longer says that. If I want to add new text, I can add a text box. And I find that a font called Oswald sometimes matches the font pretty closely. So I'm going to use Oswald here, and I'm going to say, let's just say the conclusion was many encapsulants work, right? We can make that a little bit blacker. And then, you can do things like play with the weight of the font. Maybe that's better, as well as, the leading and the kerning in order to get the spacing and everything, close to the original image. It's not going to look perfect, but it will look good enough to, work. The final thing to mention is that although we haven't talked about Claude yet, Claude can also generate figures, and it usually does so either with a Python script or something called an SVG format of a figure. And these tend to be more editable, so you can more directly edit, let's say, the Python script in order to get the result that you want. That said, I found the results to not be quite as good as I get with Gemini. So for example, if I were to generate that same Duramat figure with Claude, this is what I would get. All right, so Claude is done. It generated the image in HTML format. For some reason, it seems to have trouble loading the preview, so I'm just going to download it. All right, so here is what the figure looks like. You can see it's not quite as nice. It doesn't have those nice little images, and it's more text heavy, so it doesn't really have, again, this looks more like a web page, right, than a report. That said, because it's an HTML format, it is a text file that you can edit. So for example, let's find something here that I don't like. Okay, so let's just say that instead of end of life, I want to call it end of life / circularity. So this would, of course, involve going into an image editor if this was not an HTML file. But since this is an HTML file, I can edit it in a text editor. So I can just search for the phrase end of life and change that to end of life / circularity, right? And now I didn't have to do any fancy image editing. If I just refresh this, it says end of life circularity. So Claude, I would say, doesn't generate as good images out of the box, but they tend to be much more editable later on. All right, now in a previous video, I had started with this particular figure. This was created by a student, and that student was curious about how to make the figure look nicer. And I did an entire tutorial about things like positioning and colors and fonts and things like that in order to make this figure look a bit nicer. And I ended up with this figure over here, and I gave an entire tutorial about the reasoning behind that. So my question is, can LLM get me to something similar without, learning all these principles of graphic design myself? So let's try and compare how well the AI does to what I had generated before. So again, the procedure is very simple. It should be pretty familiar by this point. I'm going to copy over my prompt. I will put a text description of my figure. So here's my text description. And then finally, I will attach the figure itself. All right, once again, we're going to make sure that we are on the Pro version. We'll hit Create Image and Submit. Okay, so here is the image from Gemini. And let's take a quick look here. I like certain aspects of this. So I do like the aspect ratio of this a lot better because this will fit better into a journal article than this more tall format. I don't really like the black text on the dark background because that does make it a little bit harder to read. The scientific content looks like it has a little bit of changes to it. So here there's an arrow pointing from these two boxes to hard. Here it's two arrows pointing from the same box. So again, be careful about the hallucinations when you use these sorts of tools. And yeah, I don't like necessarily how this manual correction comes down here. Yeah, it's better, but it's certainly not what I would advise the student to use. I still think that the manually created one ended up better than the one that's cleaned up by the AI. That said, what we can do is take our cleaned up one and put that into the AI and see if it can make it better. So let's try that. So I'm going to try my prompt again. I'm going to attach the same text description as before. And this time, let's use the one that I manually cleaned up and attach that figure to Gemini and see if it can make the one that I improved even better. So we'll do Pro and then Create Image and give this a go. All right, so Gemini has finished the figure draft. And here I actually kind of like what it did. First of all, I do like the colors better. They seem a bit more professional, I would say, than the more, lighter colors that I used here. So I do think that they made an improvement there. I also like the aspect ratio that's a little bit more rectangular versus the more square format that I had. I think the rectangular format works better in a journal article. And then, there actually seems to be less hallucination now of the actual flow of the figure. And I do actually like some of the way that these arrows look and everything. So, certainly I would have to check this a little bit more. For example, here from partial, I see an arrow and maybe that arrow should have come from post-processing. But, I do like the colors better. I like that they put these numbers inside the circle. They make it much easier to see the final numbers, which are important, versus the one that I had. So there's certainly ideas that I would steal from here. Oh, I also like that they don't rotate any of the text, whereas here manual curation and LLM precursor are rotated. This is much easier to read without having to turn your head to the side. So there's certainly ideas from here that I would take if I were going to clean up my redoing of the plot even more. All right, so hopefully this was helpful in your own work, and I will see you in the next video.